Good morning, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's having a good start to their week. Hopefully, by this point, I'm in Madison at my awesome AP Euro conference. Just to kind of tell you how this is going to go. Unfortunately, the program I'm using only lets me do 10 minutes per take. So what I'll probably do is put this into 2 or 3 sections. First, what we're going to probably talk about is kind of finish up this idea of these people who take reason from Isaac Newton and then kind of try to understand the world around them. And then the next one will probably be about women in the Enlightenment, how they were treated, and then finishing up with the social environment of the Enlightenment. How did ideas spread? So let's kind of get going here. I'm already almost a minute in. All right, I got a timer here going. So the first idea, again, just re-emphasizing Isaac Newton's awesomeness. He uses the right reason and scientific method to discover the natural laws of human life. The science of man then comes up as a theory, studying men or human beings and understanding the science of them. This kind of promotes the social sciences as we know them today. And again, redefining this natural laws. Moral principles are the basis for human conduct. Okay, moral and ethical. This is still used in law today. But again, just kind of reemphasizing that Isaac Newton, pretty awesome guy. So kind of going on this reason and using scientific method and experimentation and observation. David Hume, pretty big guy. If you take philosophy 101 in college, I'm thinking you're going to come across him. He's a big believer in empiricism. This idea that knowledge is all derived through the senses, right? Go out, look at the world, touch the world, see how it is, and then you can come back, reflect on it, maybe try to understand it a little more. Along with common sense, you'll kind of then be able to decipher between how things actually work and maybe the old kind of style of what people thought. So again, observation, reflection, common sense. This is a big thing in the treatise of human nature. Examination of the experience that he's having is the way that people get knowledge of the human nature. Okay. If you kind of look in the down lower right here, David Hume was known as the pioneer of social scientist. This means that, again, you have scientists, but then you have someone who just solely looks at the way people interact with each other. Okay, moving on. Now we go into economics. So you have these people in France that start looking at is mercantilism the best possible way to promote economy? Physiocrats, right? Typically these are French intellects, say no. They reject mercantilism. They believe in two major principles. First principle, land is the source of a country's wealth, not gold, not silver, not exports, right? That's very mercantilism. These guys are saying that the wealth can only be increased through agriculture. They also believe that the way that the government should get money is through one tax, and that tax is the land tax. Again, think about your parents probably pay a property tax on their house they own, or even if your parents rent a apartment complex, some of that money of the rent is going towards property tax because the government charges for that. They're saying this is the only way that a government should use it. Get the land tax. Nowadays, we have many ways to get taxes to promote the government and make sure that things run smoothly, such as sales tax. Again, you buy a Mountain Dew at the convenience store, there's a 5% sales tax on it, goes to the government. Okay, moving on. Second principle. This principle, the physiocrats believe, is that supply and demand should dictate the economic ways. So again, we have this now today. We believe this is pretty good. This is kind of the foundation of capitalism. And the individuals, again, if I want to open my own Starbucks, I should be able to, right? And that people should be free to pursue their economic interests. Now, this is kind of move away from mercantilism, which is very controlled. Everything should be benefiting the state, right? I think Dutch East India Company. These people this company was given a monopoly on tea trade. And this tea trade was just given to them, which would then benefit the company. This kind of principle says that there should be 5 different companies that are doing it because then it's competition. Prices would be better for people. Again, major foundations of capitalism here. Moving on, this idea of laissez-faire. This is economic doctrine that holds that an economy is best served when the government does not interfere. Today, we have a lot of regulations on on companies, on Wall Street, on things like this, because there's a fear that if there's no regulation, it's just going to hurt the consumer. Some people, such as mostly Republicans, view that this is not a good thing to have regulations on government. Democrats view that there should be more. So again, we're still kind of dealing with this thing of government intervention in the economy. Okay. But laissez-faire says, and again, when I remember in high school and colleges, that laissez-faire is kind of like the invisible hand on the economy. There's not actually something there. You don't see it, but it's always there, right? Just in case something does fall. But this also, again, promotes the idea of supply and demand. Laissez-faire, think about this. Let the people do as they please. A lot of you probably would like this idea, but again, I think there needs to be some government intervention sometimes. Then let's move down to Adam Smith, The Wealth of Nations. Adam Smith on our right here. All right, let's see if my mouse shows up for you guys. He is kind of what they call the founder or the father of capitalism. He is a big, he doesn't like mercantilism at all. His idea is that labor of people is a source of wealth, not gold and silver. Okay, so kind of a different structure. Again, let people do what they want instead of the government controlling it. So he, again, believes that the government should not interfere in economic matters. So that's economics. And then he also kind of dives into politics a little bit. The government should serve three functions. First, protection from invasion from other countries, maybe pirates, to protect not only the economy, but the state itself. He also believes that there should be like a police force to defend individuals from injustice and oppression. This is why we have police forces today, although, as you see, there's kind of some question with that. Provide certain public works for roads. So think about this in the sense that creating a road takes a lot of money. And the government should provide this because it'll help the economy out. People can get goods from point A to point B. But also think this, if I have my house create a road outside of it, right, then it's my road. Well, some other people start building their houses on that road, I could charge them for that. The government says, nah, that's not maybe a good idea. We'll create the roads, channels, canals, so that people can better get around and to promote economic goods. Again, this economic liberalism, this idea that there's no government intervention. Yep, 7 minutes here. Okay, we'll probably end at this one right here. But this idea that there's a later Enlightenment, you have the guys, David Hume, Voltaire, Montesquieu, these heavy-hitting people, even Isaac Newton, they come up with these ideas. And then, the guys like Baron Paul Holbach, they're born during this kind of high time of the Enlightenment, and then they get to learn and be educated by the Enlightenment, which is good for them. So here we have, take a look at this. Paul Holbach is born in 1723, right, and dies in 1789. The Principia by Isaac Newton was created in 1687. So this is about 100 years after Holbach publishes his major work. So again, you have 100 years to kind of promote these ideas, better these ideas. But Holbach, his major idea was that atheism, God was a product of human intellect, that we made this thing called God or Christianity. So you can probably imagine he wasn't very well liked at the time. I'm going down to Murray Jean, I'm probably butchering that, but it kind of comes with this idea of 9 stages of history, and that the humans were entering this 10th stage of history. That again, we don't think about this, but idea of like perfecting ourselves. He's saying that there's no limit to perfecting the powers of man. So we always keep getting better through these things like enlightenment. Okay, so then what we're going to look at next is an idea, or Rousseau. He's a pretty heavy-hitting guy. We're running out of time, so I'm probably going to end this now and see how this goes. All right, more in a little bit.